What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Avengers Doomsday. So, over the weekend and the last couple of days, there's been a lot of official information about Avengers Doomsday and some pretty interesting leaks. But is Robert Downey Jr.'s return really big enough to draw the audience back after financially failing movies? Now, although I liked the Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four, they were financial flops. If you make a good movie, the audience will go. Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle, has already turned over more money than the Fantastic Four and will make more money than Superman. Anime is taking over. It's going to take a lot more than Robert Downey Jr. returning to bring the audience back. But I am hella excited to finally see Doom in the MCU. But is Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars going to be a repeat performance of Deadpool and Wolverine in the sense of nostalgia bait to bring the audience back? We don't know. Find out 2026 Christmas. But I am so freaking hyped for this. So if you're new around it, make sure to subscribe to never miss the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse content that I try to cover. Check us out on TikTok, Warstu. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. Right, let's get into it. So we've had an official synopsis from Shanghai in China event that was really a marketing event, but we got the first official reveal of Dr. Doom, which is a little bit confusing for people because if you watch the post-credit scene for Fantastic Four, we've already seen Doom from behind, but we didn't see the mask. So people saying this is the first official reveal of Dr. Doom. It's a little bit misleading because we've already seen him. Now, the so-called synopsis, it just makes this movie seem like they have really rejigged the Kang the Conqueror, aka Kang's Dynasty storyline, and just rejigged it. And that doesn't really go inside with what the Russos said. They found a way to bring Doom into the storyline. They found a way to do a movie they were excited about. Interesting. So it reads like this. Dr. Doom has officially arrived on the Marvel Cinematic Universe stage. Bit misleading because he was in the Fantastic Four post-credit scene. This villain, a master of cutting-edge science and a powerful magic, will unleash a cascading crisis across the multiverse. Now, this bit here is either a translation error from Chinese to English, or they've just confirmed that Iron Man's returning. Marvel's most iconic character, Robert Downey Jr., also returns as Dr. Doom. Is this a translation error, which is quite common when you translate languages into different languages? Or did they just confirm that Iron Man is back at Robert Downey Jr.? Marvel's most iconic character, Robert Downey Jr., also returns as Dr. Doom. So, the new synopsis comes out of the Disney and Marvel promotion out of China, which includes a first look at Dr. Doom. Not really, because like I say, lads, we've seen him already in the post-credit scene. So does this synopsis get you hyped? Because we've already had a team lead up from Captain America 4, the Thunderbolts, the Fantastic Four, technically No Way Home, Doctor Strange 2, and Loki was building up to a multiversal catastrophic event in a way. So I'm really hyped for this. It's just, you need to understand, right? Because of the Russos' pay packet, and because of Robert Downey Jr.'s pay packet, he's getting paid more than, and because of Robert Downey Jr.'s guaranteed back-end deal, both movies will have to make at least $400 million just to break even, excluding marketing. So you're probably talking both movies will have to turn 750-ish before they even make a penny of profit. A rebooted angle already teased. This follows earlier promotional synopsis which hinted Doomsday marking a reboot for the MCU. But wait, the reboot was supposed to happen after Secret Wars? So let's read it. The highly anticipated new Avengers movie, Avengers Doomsday, will be released in 1 year. Well, that's kind of misleading because it's releasing next Christmas. So this should have, though we are about to go in October, so maybe like a year and 3 months. 7 years after the excitement of Endgame, the ever-evolving Marvel Cinematic Universe is set to reach a new climax, maybe. Robert Downey Jr. makes a sensational return to the MCU as the villain Doctor Doom. The Russos, who led Avengers Infinity War and Endgame to success, will once again serve as directors. It's going to be the most epic two-part story in the last decade, with many heroes and intertwining stories. Joe Russo, let's move forward towards the new era of the MCU, which it's kind of misleading because we know Doomsday isn't a new era. Secret Wars can't be a new era till the multiverse has collapsed properly. So we know Doomsday. We know the multiverse is going to collapse and Doom will make Battleworld. But that's not really going to be a new era unless this whole Battleworld universe survives. But we know they're most likely going to make some variation of Earth Prime post-Secret Wars. So the way this article reads, it's a little bit misleading. What does this mean for the MCU? The repeat focus, Downey Jr., Doom, reinforced reports that Marvel is leaning heavily on his return, sparked renewed interest after a string of shaky projects. I don't really think, personally, because I talk to people in the real world outside of this space, and even Marvel fans who were hyped during Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, no one's actually that hyped to the point where most of my friends in real life who were on the Marvel hype during Endgame, they don't care for Doctor Doom because no one really knows who he is outside of pop culture people, of neeks, of geeks. I hate to say it, but unless you're invested in the comics, you wouldn't really know who Doctor Doom is. So I don't think Downey Jr. has as much pulling power, as much hype as you think. But obviously, it will be the combination of the likes of Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Warstu. It'd be the combination of the whole Avengers coming back, because if you look at the box office numbers, Avengers movie has never failed, which it hasn't. Look at the box office numbers. The language about a new era and cascading a crisis suggests Avengers Doomsday will be the launchpad for the next phase of the MCU, one that could serve as a soft reboot and a combination of past storylines. With the Russo brothers back at the helm, Marvel positioning the two films, part epic Doomsday is being framed as the most important MCU event since Endgame. And they've done it in a clever way, we think. And that is why people seem to think there's going to be some massive twist with Iron Man and Doctor Doom appearing in the same movie, because the Russo said he is the only person that could play Doom, and the whole I am Iron Man scene won't be retconned. But maybe this whole theory of Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man going forward in time and then going back in time, because the line that says, when you mess about with time, it messes about with you, implying that that version of Iron Man went forward to save the day in Secret Wars, and that would be badass, but it also would be pandering to fan service. So Avengers Doomsday set to hit theaters Christmas 2026, December the 18th. And we also know, according to a really reliable trailer scooper, Cryptic HD, apparently they want to market Doomsday like they did for Endgame a little bit, huge, dropping small teases here and there till we're 6 to 5 months out away from release. Then we get aggressive marketing. They're also leverage past films for a bit of marketing drive as well. And also, we know that Spider-Man 4 is probably going to have a post-credit scene which does tease or even include Doctor Doom. Now that Doctor Doom appeared in the Fantastic Four movie, although leaks are apparently fake, even though leaks said that Doctor Doom would appear in the post-credit scene, and them leaks were true. So they have a long time to set up Doomsday and Doom, realistically. A lot of people talk about how Thanos had like this 10-year build-up, but that really wasn't the case. We didn't see Thanos much. Sure, you can say, oh, the Guardian scene. Oh, fine, I'll do it myself. And the Gauntlet scene. But we really didn't see much of Thanos for the build-up, realistically. So I would say expect some kind of trailer at the Super Bowl, because that makes the most sense. So, also in the news, friend of the channel, Geeky Cast Chad Ryan, had this to say to do with Doomsday, Doctor Doom, all the rumors. Let's break down, what is he actually doing? Okay, it's a thread on his Twitter, which is at the Geekcast. RDJ is Doom. At Disney's Shanghai Expo, promo art reportedly showed Robert Downey Jr. in full Doctor Doom armor. Yes, as we've seen that. Light show tease. A Shanghai Disney light display even flashed Doom's mask rope, with fans swearing they saw a nod to Hickman's Doom kills Thanos panel. Identity twist. Leakers say Doom may be using Tony Stark's identity or a Stark variant backstory to manipulate Earth 616 heroes. Basically, every scooper said that, and pretty much every YouTuber. Steve Rogers beef and controversy. One major leak claims Dooms blames Steve Peggy timeline from Endgame for destroying his world family, making old Cap his #1 target, although surely that would have destroyed the whole universe. And I think that's a bit of a plot leak there, because we get the whole Latveria empty seat in the Fantastic Four movie. So was Doom just residing in the Fantastic Four universe, and he wasn't really from said universe? Anchor Being's theory. Another thread says Doom believes the multiverse is held together by Anchor Beings, Tony, Peter Parker, Warstu, etc. He sets out to erase them all. Would that mean that Steve Rogers is a 616 Anchor Being? Who knows? TVA takeover. Some leaks suggest Doom dismantles the TVA, steals their tech, and essentially replaces Kang as the Saga Big Bag. Well, we know that is probably going to be the case. MCU pivot. Related chatter, the Marvel is shifting focus from Kang to Doom after Major's exit drama. Fantastic Four bridge. Post-credit teases Fantastic Four reportedly shows Franklin Richards and a cloak figure Doom. Some say RDJ's face is revealed. It goes on. Secret Wars setup. The same Shanghai show use imagery hinting a Doom versus Thanos moment, fueling Battle World versus Secret Wars speculation. Crossover scale. Leaks keep promising a massive cast: Avengers, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, X-Men, all colliding under Doom's god tier presence. Whether all true or not, one thing's clear: Marvel is building Doom into the centerpiece of the multiversal saga. That's pretty much all the rumors of what is going around with Doom. It's worth saying that none of these are confirmed or verified to be real. We went over a pretty cool fan theory plot for the whole movie last week or so, maybe like 2 weeks ago, which is 45 minutes long, which went over an insane plot, which could be true, which does really mention a lot of things we've just mentioned here. So that's pretty much all the latest and greatest information about Doomsday. Although I think Brand New Day, Spider-Man 4, will have the biggest setup for Doom, realistically, because although everyone keeps saying it's a grounded movie, Tom Holland listened to the fans. Listening to what the fans want in the Spider-Man movie is never actually going to be a good idea. There is too many villains. There's too much going on in this movie for it to be grounded. Let's be honest, lads. There's going to be some major event, and maybe Doom's behind everything. They really need to give us a stinger in that movie, because that comes out in July. Doomsday comes out December. They need to make the normies care, not people like you and I. They need to make random people that don't care, that didn't watch Thunderbolts, that didn't watch Fantastic Four. Although I think they were good movies, the box office doesn't lie. And people can keep saying, yeah, but since what happened in 2019, 2020, the pandemic, people can't afford to go to the cinema, which is an absolute lie, because you look at the #1 movie, 1.9 billion. The second movie, 1 billion, 950, 860. Sure, these numbers are low, but then you look at the likes of Demon Slayer anime, 500. You know, if you actually make a good story, market it well, don't spend insane money, you can make a profit. Like Conjuring, latest movie. Horror movies generally don't have a huge budget. It just broke $330 million for a horror movie. That will be the biggest horror movie of the year in terms of profit and in terms of how much the money movie makes. But that's not the first horror movie this year to break 300. Final Destination did it. Weapons did 250. So these smaller budget movies make a lot of money. Problem with this movie is you've got so many big actors in it. Like I said, they're both going to have to hit at least 750, 800 to break even. I want this movie to do insane numbers, but Spider-Man 4 is really going to have to hype you up in order to care for it. Sure, I'm excited for it, but you don't need me to be excited for it. You need random people who don't normally go to the cinema to be hyped for Avengers Doomsday. And the general consent is people don't care for Marvel, because Superman, which made more money than both the Marvel movies, and Superman barely broke even alone, 715. Weak, beaten by an F1 movie that was made by Apple but distributed by Warner Brothers. Hopefully the box office can have an insane change. We know we've got Avatar coming later this year. Generally they break $1 billion every time they release one, even though people say they hate them, but the last one did just under 2 billion, I believe. But it is what it is. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuJ. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.